Alrighty, so a couple of days after picking, you might notice that some of your shrooms are starting to get this darkened color, and it's got kind of a slimy, tacky feel to it. You can see it really on the underside and the gills here. So that's the start of the decay process. It's really not going to be tasty or good texture. It's going to be really chewy. So what I do is I just kind of cut around it, and that's going in my compost. And the rest of these guys, after I slice them up into, maybe about an inch to 2 inch pieces, those will get dry sauteed, which I'll show next. All right, now that I've got about a scant pound chopped, I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna get a nice big pan. I'm gonna put them on my biggest burner, and I'm gonna get that thing heated up to medium high. Alrighty, once my pan's good and hot, we're gonna go ahead and run away. We're gonna go ahead and take all our mushroom bits, minus the soggy parts, and we're gonna dump them into this pan. And the idea is that they shouldn't really be stacked on top of each other. They should be able to kind of spread out evenly and get a good exposure to the heated pan. So yeah, got them all evenly spaced. And you can hear them, and you can you can see them steaming. So these mushrooms, by weight, much like us, are mostly water. So you'll see that this pound that I just chopped up is about to become a lot less. And so, as that water starts to release, you're going to move them around. And yes, it sounds like styrofoam. It kind of sounds like you're literally cooking styrofoam. It's weird. Yeah, and if you find that they're sticking or burning to the bottom of the pan, I might turn my heat down just a little bit, actually. It's going a little bit too fast. Because the idea is that you really shouldn't be getting much anything sticking to the bottom of the pan. This moisture should be dissipating into the pan and allowing you to deglaze that buildup as you dry saute. That's part of what really makes the flavor of this preservation style, I would say, the most preferable to other methods like drying or simply freezing the fresh stuff. But you can see now I'm able to deglaze with that liquid that is leaving our mushrooms, and you can already see that we've lost about half our volume during this process. So this will end up probably becoming about a quarter pound or so, depending on how far I take the liquid evaporation. And really, I usually don't take them too much further beyond this. I wait until those bubbles really stop and the accumulations of any residual moisture has evaporated, and then I bag them. So, just to give you an idea, we'll just kind of wait this out. Also, this gives you a good chance if there's any stray pine needles. This is where you're going to find them as they shrink back and whatnot. Also, any bugs tend to, unfortunately, meet their demise during this period pretty rapidly. So yeah, looking pretty clean. You can see the juice is really getting sweated out at this point. I might actually increase my heat here. Because ideally, this process, I turned down the heat because it was a really dry pan, and I was worried I would burn the bottom of them. But ideally, this process is done within a minute or two, so that you can get on to chopping your next pound and continuing the processing. There we go. We're starting to evaporate now. All right. So yeah, a good thing to observe. I can stop steaming my camera. You'll notice the bubbles are kind of getting bigger, right? There, that's a good image of it. And there's not nearly as much residual pockets of moisture. So yeah, we're getting really close to the finish line here for these guys. Just give them another stir, make sure everything's released its juice. You know, I'm just below the highest setting on the largest burner right now, so that kind of gives you an idea. Yeah, okay, yeah, so no more bubbles. This thing's going off the heat. And I'm going to put it in my bowl. Alright, so I've got my dry sauteed cooling in my bowl. Once I've got enough built up and they're cool to the touch, I go ahead and I make these logs in freezer bags by just kind of stuffing them in there and roll them into a little sausage and squeezing out the air. And then those get frozen. And so yeah, you know, I essentially just kind of keep that process going, right? Empty it out, put it back on the heat, pour the mushrooms in, and bam, soon enough you'll have enough to roll a log. And you put that in your freezer.